You're tuned to Trust One Realty, making sure your next move is a smart move. Now here's your host, Arbi.
Welcome to Trust One Realty. I'm your host, Arbi, and the purpose of this show is to educate our listeners regarding the real estate industry. Today's show is brought to you by Access Real Estate Services. They offer residential and hard money loans. Check them out at www.petergmtg.com. Again, www.petergmtg.com. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my background. I started a multi-million-dollar company in 2005 and with two other partners from a $30,000 loan equity that we had. In between my company, I was in the real estate industry for well over 10 plus years. One thing I realized is for me to be in this industry, I had to have the tools for me to help clients out because of the experience I received as a customer. And in commercial and residential, it was very complicated for me to be able to get assistance, help. Knowledge was very lacking. So I decided to get into the real estate industry after I built my company with my partners. When I got into the real estate, I wanted to provide knowledge that I didn't get when I was buying houses and flipping them. So we started Trust One Realty. And what we do is we educate clients who are buyers or sellers, kind of like how we're doing on the show. We believe that all agents and brokerages should be transparent. There's nothing to be hidden. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. It's clean relationship and there to help you buy your future home, future investment, and where your family will grow. Trust One Realty also gives back to the community by donating non-perishable foods, donations. And one of the biggest things that we do is we provide to all our clients a guarantee that we will exceed your expectations in any transactions that we come about. Trust One Realty radio show will be your resource to help you navigate through one of the life's more stressful events. The largest purchase you may ever make, a home. We also have seminars to provide you with wealth of knowledge for free from active agents and loan officers in the industry. Trust One Realty is here to answer any questions that you may have. Don't you go anywhere. When we come back, we have a guest calling in from New Jersey. You're tuned into Trust One Realty, and we will be right back.
You're tuned to Trust One Realty, making sure your next move is a smart move. Now here's your host, Arbi.
Welcome back to Trust One Realty. I'm your host, Arbi, and this week's topic is selling your home. On the line, we have my business partner and our first guest, Ethan. Ethan, how are you?
Not too bad, Arbi. How about yourself? How's everything going?
I'm doing good. Just getting torched with the heat outside.
Yeah, I'm from the East Coast, so it's about 65 over here. It was raining all day, so a little bit cooler than the hundreds that you guys got.
Wow. I wish I was there right now.
So what's going on? What's up for today?
Well, we're going to be educating, helping, and giving advice to our listeners about how to market their homes and what's a good marketing method and how to get the best connection to buyers or potential buyers.
Awesome. Yeah, so, maybe I'll just start with a quick background about myself so you and everybody else knows who I am. Just really quickly, I've started a couple of businesses in my life, both in real estate and marketing in specific, mostly with social media and the online world. So, what I do very frequently now is I basically like to say that I bridge the gap between the old school business of real estate and the kind of modern, more technologically advanced world of social media and the internet, and kind of combine them to really allow buyers and sellers to have that advantage when they're dealing with the real estate difficulties that most of us face.
Right. That makes sense because we're now in the 21st century. There's no more catalogs, newspapers anymore.
Exactly, and it makes it really difficult that a lot of people in real estate have these old school mentalities. And when it comes to sellers and listing their homes and trusting somebody, they don't need somebody that's been around for 30 years, because the market isn't the same as it was 30, 40 years ago. You're not going to get the same results from, catalogs and newspapers like you had mentioned, and billboards and stuff. You really need to have that edge, and that's kind of, like I said, where I bridge the gap between the two worlds. And it's allowed not only my, other people in real estate that I work with, Arbi, you can speak on experience, but as well as the sellers and the buyers that I work with, they always have that step up in comparison with the competition.
Right. Because most sellers already know that the regular media or the advertising that default agents offer is what everybody offers. What they're looking for is somebody who's going to be outside the box and magnitude their listing.
You don't want what everyone else is doing. If you do what everybody else does, you're going to get the same results, and nobody wants the same boring results. So it kind of makes everything a little bit more exciting, a little bit more not only modern, but it's kind of thinking for tomorrow. How am I going to sell my house next year? Sometimes people come to me and they want to prepare in advance, or they're looking to buy and they really haven't been able to do so. So it's a really awesome way to kind of beat out the competition if you're buying, selling, or just need somebody to kind of go to with suggestions if you're trying to sell by yourself. As a for sale by owner, it allows you to, I can help you with different tips and techniques and tricks that you can use to do it on your own that are simple enough for everybody to understand, but not everybody is really doing them, and they really set you apart from everybody else.
Right. Now, I have a question for you. If what advice would you give sellers if they're planning on selling their house? What method to do, and how, if they wanted assistant, they wanted to get an expert to help them out, how would you advise them?
Right. So it is a difficult question because there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But at the end of the day, the internet seems a lot more complicated than it is. So I'll give you guys a quick, simple trick that I like to use. What I always say with people on social media is they're either A, not even on social media and missing out on so much money, or B, they are on social media, but they're just not doing it. They're kind of just throwing things against the wall and hoping things stick. So whether you're an agent trying to, get a listing, or you're trying to sell a listing that's been sitting for a while, you're a for sale by owner trying to do it yourself. One little trick, instead of just posting your listing on social media, a link to it on your Facebook page, your Instagram, or email blasting it, or whatever you might be doing on the internet to quote unquote promote your listing. Nobody really cares about that, and that's the harsh reality of it. So instead of doing that and thinking that's all you need to do, a quick suggestion I like to share is make an open house a big event, right? And the way you can make a big event of this is you could do things like staging or whatever, but you don't need to. What you really should be doing is make an event on Facebook, invite specific people who you think not only are going to come, but are going to bring people, whether it's family members, friends who have family members looking to buy, other agents and brokers. Make it a big event. Start groups and make it a point to go live on Facebook every day for, I would say, the 5 to 7 days before the actual open house. And I promise you, not only are you going to get traction on this post, people are going to like it, people are going to share it, comment it, and that's when it gets momentum. And other people who you aren't even friends with, who don't even know you, that's when they're going to see it, and that's when there's going to be a lot higher conversions of people contacting you about this house, other houses, and you're actually going to get a lot of people to come to these open houses. And then as far as getting in contact with somebody who can do this for you, Arbi and myself, we've been doing this for a decent amount of time, pretty successfully. So if anybody wants to, reach out to us, definitely let us know, and we'd be happy to help with suggestions and tips and, get into a little bit more detail.
Yeah, that's good information that you provided, because that's most people only know posting. They don't know the fundamentals about Facebook. And this is why we're here. We're here to advise you and help you and educate you on how to sell your house, or at least if you're going to list it, at least know what the agent will be utilizing to market your house.
Exactly.
So this way you're educated on one side.
Exactly. That's a really good point, that, even if you are, working with an agent, you're not trying to sell it to your house, the everyday person can use this information for value. You know, they could benefit from it as well, because when they're working with a potential agent that wants to sell their home, ask the right questions as far as what are you going to do to promote my house and sell it. Not only sell it, but sell it for top dollar. You know, get competition really going. What are you going to do to have it turn out to my house?
Very important.
And a lot of people calling in. So it's really important that, you know, when you're interviewing an agent or a broker to list your property, that some key words and some tactics that they may or may not be using. And if they're not using them, I think it might be time to find someone who is a little bit more up to date. This information is really valuable for not only agents and brokers, but also the everyday person who's looking to buy or sell. When they're looking to list their home, they need to be able to ask the correct questions to the agent, to the broker, and see what they are or are not going to do for their property, not only to get it sold, but to get it sold at top dollar and get some traction and some competition going on their home, because it really makes a big difference. Not only that it's listed with an agent, but it's listed with an agent who's going to use social media, the internet, to actually get this thing going and to get your home sold. And even if it's a home that hasn't sold for a while, maybe it's not the property. Maybe it's the agent just not using modern day technology, which at the end of the day, the truth is that majority of agents and people in real estate are just not using the proper marketing techniques. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Right. And I've had a lot of customers ask me that question on how do I market? And when social media comes in, they're under the impression that it's normally for family and friends. But reality is it is for family and friends, but it also widespreads the information, what you have, what you're selling, who you are, and what city you live in, because they know what city you're living in, what the neighborhood is like. And if you don't advertise that, people are just looking at houses. They don't know the neighborhoods. And if it's not on Facebook, out of 10 people, maybe a few of them will actually see it on the normal channels. It's very important to grasp the technology, because that's, at the end of the day, is the only way people will know what you're selling and the value that your home has.
It's similar to it's like a domino effect, what I always say. And the reason I say it's like a domino effect is because Facebook, Instagram, the whole internet, social media, all the platforms have their own algorithms, and they're constantly changing. So one, you need to be with an agent or a company that's going to constantly be educating themselves in order to better serve you. But also, for instance, like I said, with going Facebook Live and the open house for the Facebook invite for the open house event, the value behind that is when you actually get likes from different agents and different brokers and other people in the community, and you're getting comments, you're getting interactions with these Facebook Lives and directing it to this event that you're holding on Facebook for the open house. The value behind that is that your friends and family might not want to buy this house, but if they like and comment on it and they're sharing it, it's going to push this post, whether it's your Facebook Live, whether it's the event for the open house, the invite, it's going to post it to other people's top of their page. It's not most recent anymore. It's a different algorithm.
Right.
Facebook wants to show you posts that they think you're going to like, and one of the ways to do that is going to be by providing content that friends and family of yours have liked, commented, shared, etc. So by having these posts and consistently and valuable content, you're going to be in the top of the minds and on their pages of other people who might not be your friends and family, but you guys might not even be friends on Facebook, but they're going to see it, they're going to like it, and they're going to come to this open house, and they're the ones that are going to be buying. Their children are the ones going to be buying, and that's really where the benefit is. But you need to be able to, what I like to call social media hack, right, where you have these little extra techniques to optimize your use and your presence on social media, not just be there.
Right. So, Ethan, I got a question for you. I'm sure our listeners may be interested on this. When you do the posts or the content that you mentioned, if it's pictures, the quality has to be a professional quality pictures, because if it's novice pictures, they're not going to be interested. It's not going to give it a boost on it. So what do you suggest as far as professional? Is it professional? Is that a good way of doing it so our listeners know?
Yeah, so that's actually a really, really valuable question. It's super important. I'm really happy you asked. So I'm going to say a couple of things on this topic. One, a simple post, just wording, right? Just straight words. That is only gets so far. The other two valuable ways to post are, like you said, photos and videos. Videos are the best. They convert the best, and videos are right up there. But when you can, videos are awesome, right? They convert better throughout all social media platforms. Now, as far as the professional photography and different things like this, the beauty behind social media as well is the ability to test for very low to no amounts of money, right? You can test different things, and very, very quickly, within a day or two, if not more, a little bit less, sometimes 2 days, 3 days, you're able to see, okay, which picture of mine that I'm promoting is getting me better results. Is it a picture that I've taken on my iPhone, or is it the picture that I've hired a professional photographer to come and take for me, which is going to, convert better and get me better results? And my initial answer is going to be, one, you have to test it, because there's different pictures that you guys are going to be posting, different pictures, different videos, and different posts with just words. So my answer to a lot of these questions is you have to test it, because different markets have different results, okay? So sometimes when you're doing an open house and you want you're doing the invite, you want to have a page for it or whatever you might want to do, that I suggest getting professionally done, because you want to see a clean, crisp picture. When you're doing your own profile picture, if you want to come off as professional, you need it professionally done.
Absolutely.
Okay? But sometimes when you're doing just a normal everyday an inspirational post, or answering questions for buyers or sellers or different things like this with pictures, feel free to make it not professional and just off your iPhone, because when I see an agent or somebody in business and all their stuff looks professionally done, I think they're too robotic. There's no personal touch there. And I think the real benefit and value behind social media is that I see that you're professional. I see that you're in business and you sell real estate, but you're also a family man, right? You're also a normal guy. You go to Starbucks or wherever, you eat burgers just like I do. You have children, you have friends and family just like I do. And that connection, that builds trust. It builds a relationship that you can build upon. So yes, when it comes to things like open house events and pictures of actual listings, get them professionally done, because you're going to need them for different things to promote anyway. So you might as well put them on social media. But other things, if you can, get a little bit unprofessional. Make it look like you're a real person. I like that. Make it look like I can trust you, because not everything is robotic.
Right. And what I normally let people know is your $300 or $400 that you spend on professional pictures, it's as if you just basically marketed your house $2,000-$3,000 more value, because that aspect of it makes your house look better than 10 other houses that are around the block. And a lot of people think that are under the impression that extra money that they're spending, it won't give them a big return. But it is. Just like if you remodel your kitchen, the bathroom, the photo is exactly the same thing. You respect your home that you live in, and you wanted to show people how much you care for your house and how well it's taken care of, how well you've watched after it for many years. So when they want to buy your house, they see that somebody with care lived in it. But when you show...
Oh, man, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
The other question I had is, as far as marketing is concerned, is that when you're writing the content, not the pictures, but the writing, how important is the writing? So I'm sure our listeners have the question. We got the pictures out of the way, not the writing. Yeah. How important is the writing?
So the couple the few most important things on social media. One I just went over was testing, right? If you're not sure about something, whether you should have professional done or you should do it yourself or whatever, test it. Test, right? It's always the case. And two, To answer your question about content, whether it's pictures, videos, wording, or caption, whatever it might be, content is king. Not cash, not cash anymore. Content. Content is king. And I can't stress this enough how important content is, because if you want to sell a property and you want it to entice me, you want to attract buyers, whatever that might be, you know, the multimillionaires or the millennials or the older generation, the retirement people, veterans, whatever it might be, you need to have content that is going to attract them, catch their eye. Here's a quick trick. If you guys have content and, you know, you want to post something for an open house or a new listing or whatever you might be posting for, test it. Test 2 different things. Come up with 2 or 3 different captions or postings that you want to put under a video or a picture, and post them both, whether it's different social medias, whether it's an advertisement, and you can do dual testing, and just see what converts better. Because after a while, you're going to say, okay, people like this phrasing better than they do this phrasing. People like to hear the words, get your free copy of my book on how you can sell your house better, instead of get this free copy. And it's small words like that people think are so unimportant and irrelevant, but they're actually going to convert better. So if you're confused, a little bit trick is test. Test your content and see which converts better, and then you don't need to ask an expert. Testing it, you're going to get the answer for yourself firsthand from your potential clients.
Now, if customers want to test it out and they have questions, I'm sure they could reach out to us at any time, and we'll be able to help them out in the system as much as we can in any social media. But question I have also for you is, since you've done marketing for a long time, which one has given you the best results?
Which social media platform you're saying?
Right.
So it's a difficult question to answer, because you know there's always different things with where's the momentum going, where's everyone's attention, and the reason why I love social media as a whole is because I always say to people, go to a Starbucks, sit down in the corner for 10 minutes. Look around at all the people that are coming into the Starbucks. Everybody will check their phone at least once. And if they're sitting down, check what they're scrolling on in their laptop, see what they're scrolling on their phone. They're going to be scrolling Facebook. They're going to be scrolling Instagram or Snapchat, because that's where everybody's attention is these days. Whoever's buying homes, 90% of them, and again, don't quote me on that, but majority of people, their attention is on social media. That's where their attention is. It's not on the newspapers. It's not in magazines. It's not on billboards. And that's why those old school methods of marketing, and I'm going to say quote unquote marketing, because marketing has changed so much. So their attention isn't on the old school places like the newspapers and the magazines. It's on the new ones. It's the social media, Facebook, it's the Instagram. So that's where the value is, and that's where attention is.
I'm one of those people. I'm always on the phone.
Exactly, and you say you're one of those people, but I'm telling you, it's a technique that I really always tell potential clients. I say, go to a Starbucks whenever you want, sit down in the corner for 10 minutes, and see where everybody's attention is. And I'm telling you, majority of people will scroll on social media at least once or twice in the 5 minutes that it takes for them to get their cappuccino or whatever coffee they're getting. They're going to be scrolling. And imagine how many times throughout the day, how many minutes, how many scrolls, how many times they're opening that Facebook or Instagram app. So to answer your question, I'm going to have to say Facebook above and beyond is the best platform. But every social media has its benefit. So I always like to try to stay as up to date and vocal on multiple platforms. I would say Facebook is definitely the best. It has the most track record. It's definitely changing. Some people are saying it's dying. I've heard that a couple times in the past few years. Its membership is constantly increasing. Its ad budgets are constantly increasing. I don't think it's dying. I think it's adjusting.
It's changing.
And
it's changing.
Growing. It's changing.
Yeah.
It's changing. So you, as us as marketers and people in real estate or whatever industry you're in, we just have to adapt to that because they're always ahead of the curve, and they're not always ahead of the curve. Social media platforms aren't esoteric godlike things. They're normal people at the end of the day, like we are, but we need to constantly be on top of their algorithms, which makes the difference between any random person posting a link on their Facebook to me getting 100 comments from potential buyers or other agents or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
Actual interaction. It's just hacking the algorithms. So to answer your question, I know I went on a little bit of a ramble, but to answer your question, I'm going to say Facebook. Number 2 is probably Instagram. But again, it's going to depend on what your goals and what your vision for your brand or your company is going to be. And then you have to use social media and the different multiple platforms, or one or two, to encompass whatever your brand vision is for your business.
Hey, Ethan, that was amazing information that you provided to our listeners. And I'm sure our listeners may have some direct questions. How would they be able to contact you?
Definitely, Arbi. So any questions that anybody's have, I love to connect with anybody on a daily basis. So feel free to add me on social media and, send me a message. My name on Facebook is Ethan Benjamin, ETHAN BENJAMIN. And shoot me a message. My picture is me lounging on a chair, so it's pretty recognizable. Shoot me a message. Feel free to say hello, whatever you need to know. And I'd love to be in touch and answer any questions you guys might have.
Thank you, Ethan, for joining us on the show. You're tuning into Trust One Realty. Stay tuned. When we come back, I'm going to give you Arbi's Picks of the Week.
Dash Radio.
Island Block Radio presents Trust One Realty with your host, Arbi.
I'm your host, Arbi. This segment is sponsored by On the Flyer, offering residential flyers. To contact him, you can visit him on Facebook at Sebastian Vailmont. Just let him know Arbi referred you. I want to thank our guest, Ethan, for calling in from New Jersey. You could visit his social media if you have any questions. So now the time has come for Arbi's Pick of the Week. Once a week, we will be having a new listing, a city, school. But for today, the city will be Encino, California. And the reason why is it's a city that there's a lot of homes that are being built modern architecture with a lot of curb appeal and designed for entertainment purposes. The pricing is going up in value, and the school district of Encino is by far one of the greatest school districts. There you go, folks. The first episode of Trust One Realty. We hope to see you next week from all of us here at Trust One Realty, where we hope to make your next move a smart move. I'm your host, Arbi, and have a fabulous week.
You're tuned to Trust One Realty, making sure your next move is a smart move.